It's Neil from the Running Duck Effect, and we're going to have a look at the results from the MAF Test 1, which I did last month, and compare it to the MAF Test 2. Okay, I'm about to do my second MAF test. Now, I'm trying to keep things as close as possible to last month. So I'm running the same course, I'm running in the same shoes, the Hocker Clifton ones, and I'm running at the same time. The only variables are that now that we've moved into summer, it's a few degrees warmer than last month, and there's also a little bit of wind. Last month I filmed and talked during the MAF test. This time I won't do any talking because I found that the heart rate was elevated every time I was speaking to the camera. And then it was also the first time that we used the GoPro. As you can see from this footage, it was on the wrong setting. Hopefully we've got the setting right this time. Let's go and do it. Test number 2 done. I think the results are going to be pretty surprising. When I get back home and go through them, sit down and work out the comparison with MAF Test 1 in November and MAF Test 2 tonight, I think there's been a huge improvement. Okay, there was a couple of things I forgot to mention before I started. The MAF test that I'm doing is 8 kilometers, and I also do a warm-up of a 2-minute walk and 8-minute slow jogging, and a cool down of 1 minute walk and 9 minutes of slow jogging. That's all done continuous. It's Neil from the Running Duck Effect, and we're going to have a look at the results from the MAF Test 1 and compare it to the MAF Test 2. The results of the first MAF test was this. I'll put them up here on screen. All around about the 6-minute pace. Heart rate was within that 127 to 132 range. The result of the second MAF test, I'll put the splits up on screen next to the first test for a comparison. And there has been a huge improvement. With the second MAF test, I have run at a better pace. You can see that all the kilometre splits were in the low 5-minute pace, and the heart rate was still within that 127 to 132 range. But the overall time is where the real surprise is, because I've improved there by nearly 3/4 of a minute overall, which is pretty amazing really in just the space of 4 weeks. Now, whether those results are a little bit, twisted because the last month I was filming and talking, whereas this second test, I did a little bit of filming but no talking to the camera. So maybe it may have contributed to the higher heart rate first time around compared to the second test. Anyway, but what the second test has shown me is that the MAF training is working. Well, some days I still see that frustration of running slow. The overall picture is that I'm on an upward curve. I need to stress that I've only been using my watch to monitor my heart rate, as I don't have a chest strap. I know the chest strap is more accurate than the wrist monitor, but I can only work with what I've got. So to adjust for this, I've given myself a little leeway on the heart rate. I've tried to stay within a 127 to 135 range for all of my runs, a little higher than what the formula recommends, but I figure I'm not a first-time runner. I've run thousands of kilometres, including 2 sub-3 hour marathons in my 50s. My early doubts about MAF have gone. I'm excited by the results, and I'm excited to be preparing for my first race in over 2 years. I've got one more MAF test to do before Tarawera, and it'll be interesting to see if that rate of improvement continues. I know at some stage I will plateau, and that might be the time to reassess the program. But for now, I'll hang in there with MAF. I'd love to hear your thoughts on MAF running in the comments below. Did it work for you? Maybe it was too boring. Let me know. Until next time. Hooroo. July this year, I fractured my right ankle, which kept me from running until late October. This meant I had just 16 weeks to get ready for the New Zealand race, so I needed a way to get high mileage quickly without taxing the body too much. After reading about the Maffetone method, I thought this was the best way: slow running at a low heart rate to minimise the chance of injury.